Alrighty. For you 0 people out there, for a grand old time. I did some exercise today, and thus I'm in a good mood for now. Not necessarily in a good mood. It's just I'm motivated to actually stream today because went for a bike ride, then lifted some weights. It's been surprisingly warm here these last 2 days, so I've taken advantage of it and went outside for bike rides both days. At the store, I've been eyeing some 3DO stuff. I did not buy any 3DO stuff, but I've been eyeing it, and as such, I'm motivated to play some 3DO stuff. So I have a few games here. I have Wolfenstein 3D, Japanese version of Escape from Monster Manor, Japanese version of Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, also known as Super Street Fighter 2 X Grandmaster Challenge, Shanghai Triple Threat, which is actually a port of an arcade game. And I have a couple of disc-only games, too, I'm going to bust out. Hey, Mario, and how are you doing tonight, Office? First time I think I've seen you near the beginning of a stream. Lately, you've been popping in at the end. But, alright, I've got a Mercenary, which we're probably not going to play much of. Icebreaker. And Iron Angel of the Apocalypse, which is like a first-person shooter / adventure puzzle game. And apparently Tube Slider for GameCube. I always forget I have this game. I always forget I own games when they're disc-only, but I've been intentionally trying to buy disc-only recently because it's a lot cheaper. And I'm not collecting anymore. I don't consider myself a game collector. So why am I going to go out of my way to pay extra money for the boxes and manuals when I'm not going to actually use them? And they just take up a lot of space. So, feeling meh. You beat Dragon Quest XI, except you didn't actually beat it because there's more to the story after the credits. It's like when I beat Arkanoid, do it again. After 66 levels or something, they give you a credits roll. And then they pop you right back in to do 33 more stages. It's exciting. It's not quite the same, but I just figured I'd mention that. Alright, I'm getting audio, but I'm not getting a picture. This is really weird. I'm on the wrong template too. There we go. One of my S-Video cables came loose from my S-Video amplifier. By the way, for anybody curious, my next Let's Play is going live in the morning. So, I will link that here in the chat. I'm going to premiere it at 11:45 a.m. my time. So there's the link to it. Someone already downvoted it. What the fuck? Assholes. All right. Just gonna make sure my crop is all right. .3DO is one of those systems that should fill most of the screen, so it's nice. Hey, Uber Disco, how are you doing today, sir? Alright, I think we're good. So I'm going to start off with something something everybody knows. Wolfenstein 3D aside, pretty much everything here is going to be somewhat obscure. Oops. So, Uber Disco, you want to sell me one of those 3D arcade sticks you have? So this is the JP2X controller. I was thinking about it at work today. I was like, man, I'd really like to have one to play Street Fighter with. Escape from Monster Manor, yeah, it's like a simplistic Wolfenstein 3D. I mean, Wolfenstein 3D is already pretty simplistic. It's even more simplistic than that. It runs at a good frame rate, though. Oh, no, actually, I'd love to play Wolfenstein with it, man. I've tried playing Doom on Xbox with an arcade stick. It works, too.
Round one, fight.
Oh, let me put my graphic filters back on. I had turned them off.
Hong Kong. Round one, fight.
You don't mind partying with one? Right on, man. Well, if you ever think about getting rid of it, let me know. Maybe we can work something out. It would depend on the price. Or if there's something else you were looking for, maybe I've got, we can work up a trade or something. But yeah, worst case, I mean, let me know. If I did get something like that, I'd much rather get it from a US seller, because Japan's gonna cost, it's gonna charge a lot of money for shipping. Okay. Yeah, definitely hit me up about it then, man. If you really want to. I don't want to, like, pressure you into selling it if you don't want to get rid of it. Maybe you'll want to eventually do 2 players with it, but yeah, I would love it for the fighting games. I mean, I like a lot of fighting games on 3DO, like Primal Rage and Street Fighter in particular, and I'd love to play Samurai Showdown with it too, so. You have 6-button pads too? Nice. I'd love to get a Capcom fighter pad as well, but I'd rather have an arcade stick if I'm going to shell out the money, you know?
Japan.
And now you got me thinking, man, I'd love to play Wolfenstein with an arcade stick. That'd be fun.
Round 1. Fight.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking to part with it, and as long as it works well, I don't really care if it's boxed, you know. I have some drawers I can just store it in when I'm not using it. But yeah, I'd love to have one. I've heard it's a... I heard it... I don't know about the buttons, but I heard the stick itself is still fine. It's, like, still micro-switched. Okay. Sanwa-like buttons, really? It's not like kind of like the Saturn American Virtua Stick where it's like hard plastic and it's like membrane. So are their buttons actually micro switched as far as you're aware? If so, that's pretty amazing. Because most sticks from that time period didn't have micro switched buttons, so. What's funny is it doesn't look like it's like a high grade stick. It's got a very, like, reserved design.
Japan.
Oh, it's like membrane? Okay. No, you don't have to open it up. Yeah, definitely hit me up about that.
Round 1. Fight.
Oh, man. Gonna take a little while to get used to this controller again.
You win. Round 2. Fight.
Patchouli! What's going on?
You win.
Thanks, Mario. We're probably not going to get very far because this is very Super Turbo is a very difficult game. The AI is just very unfair. And this controller's not the best for fighting games. The diagonals aren't the best. Wait, what did you pay? Did you pay $20 for it, or did you pay $20 in shipping for it? Are you bought it in 2013? Jesus. Holy crap. Well, that's 2013, though. That actually kind of makes sense, you know? Because nowadays, they're anywhere from like 60 to 80 bucks, I think. And doesn't it make you sad? Doesn't it make you wish that you bought more games 8 years ago? Why did you buy SG-1000 games? Because they're cool. I'm gonna do some SG-1000 stuff on the Mister sometime soon. Holy fuck. If he connected that last hit, that would have been 3/4 of my health. Oh! What? He turned around when I was trying to do a crossover attack, overhead attack. And you know it's gonna cost you 20 bucks just to ship me the thing. It's gonna cost me more to ship it to me now than it cost you originally to buy it. That's ridiculous. Damn it. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Post it. I want to see it. You got a high Saturn and a V Saturn? Oh, wow. Nice.
Round one, fight.
Oh, lucky. You know, I don't think I've ever actually beaten this version of the game.
India.
It would be really cool if we were able to do that. Even on default difficulty, it'd still be a pretty decent accomplishment. Because like I said, the AI is way harder than it is in other Street Fighters. It's like they're really programmed to combo in this too. No, that's fine, dude. You can post as many images as you want. You know that. Oops. My upright diagonal's not very good. Hey, Timo! Thanks, Timu. Timo? I think Timo had already resubbed. I guess the alert is just now coming through. Because he joined my server, my Discord server, earlier this week, which meant he resubbed. By the way, Timo, it's great to see you on the server again. We missed you. Ooh, nice.
You win.
Oh, nice, Super Disco. Yeah, he's a monster at the X series. You should have seen his old no damage X runs. Indian Mister.
Round 1. Fight.
Guile! It does. It really does. 3DO, the 3D rendition is no different. So good. Whoa, I didn't know you can land on your feet in this game. Oops. My diagonals are messing up again. Damn it.
You lose. Round 3. Fight.
He's got such reach. Got lucky.
You win. Brazil.
Alright, we're almost halfway there. I really love the 3DO controller, but it's never been known for great diagonals. Like, I think it's a very comfortable controller, especially the JP2X, which is the smaller one. But fighting games, not its specialty. Oops. Oh, that was risky. Hey, Carlos.
You win.
Big bushy eyebrows. You were missing something really good tonight. What was that? If it was my stream, well, you're not late. We just started. So, Blanca, I think, was originally a scientist that took some kind of new serum he created and it turned him into a monster. I think that's the story behind him. Yeah, I got off work at 7 tonight, but I ended up going for a bike ride afterwards, got dinner, then rode over to my parents' house and hung out there for a couple hours. By the time I came home, I did some weightlifting, then I showered. It was like 10 o'clock by the time I was done, so...
You win.
Yeah. Then I had to hook up the 3DO, feed the queen.
Japan.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say that's bad medicine.
Round 1. Fight.
Damn it, I missed.
You lose. Round 2. Fight. You win. Round 3.
Oh, man. Oh, that was garbage. Oh.
You lose.
Wow, I can't believe you paid 20 bucks for that. Oh, you got the Japanese Saturn Overdrive in? Nice. Gale Racer is less than 5 bucks. Yeah, that sounds about right. The V Saturn was only $73. The High Saturn was only $69. Jeez.
Japan.
You got a 3DO FZ10 for 57. Nice. That's crazy, dude.
Round 1. Fight.
Yeah, it's a really nice port. It's very good. It's missing parallax scrolling in the background. That's pretty much its big fault. But aside from that, it's quite nice. Looks nice, plays well. Now he's trying to do crossovers on me, that bastard.
You win. Round 3. Fight.
Yeah, trying to do crossovers on these guys does not work. Nice.
You win.
You know, I should really look up some tutorials sometime soon and actually learn some combos in Super Turbo. That would be pretty handy. Combos were all the rage when this game came out. Everything had to have combos by this point. I mean, there were combos in the original Street Fighter 2 games, but, you know, when this came out, it's like everything had to actually tell you your combo strings. Like, how many hits did you get? Blah, blah, blah. Plus, I think there are more things you can link together in this game, technically. Combos are a diabetic's worst nightmare. Yeah, I haven't had combos in a long time. Even though my works vending machines never, my works vending machines always have them, I never actually got them from them. I used to eat them as a kid, though. They're just walking into that. I'm not complaining. Yeah, I'm not doing that, Mario. It's like the second I try doing crossovers, they go into crossover mode themselves, and I just get wrecked. Okay. For anyone wondering, I am using this controller, so when I want to do medium punch, I have to press this button. I have to reach over. It's a little awkward, to say the least. Well, the only problem is Uber Disco. I might not have a lot of stuff to actually trade because, you know, I've downsized a lot of my stuff to, you know, I whittled it down to flashcards. Some of the stuff I have on like PS2 and Wii and Xbox and stuff, I might not want to get rid of because they're mainly for the stream. But if you have a price in mind, you don't have to give it to me for what you paid. If you want to charge me more or a lot more, that's fine. If it's less than what they go for on eBay right now, that would be amazing. You know, consider it like helping out the stream. Wink, wink. But if I can get my collection list updated, I can send it to you. So I mean, maybe there is something you'd want, and I have no problems shipping stuff out to you. But my collection list is like 1.5 years out of date, so... And I've, like, traded in a lot of stuff since then, and I've bought a lot of stuff too, so... I mean, I still have a lot of games. I still have a couple hundred games. So, I mean, there could be something there that you might want. How does that cross over? It makes no sense. This game makes no sense. Yeah, Uber Disco. I mean, I don't mind just buying it outright either, because we are going to be getting our refunds here. Not refunds, but our pandemic checks here soon. You know, I think they passed the bill, so it's pretty much official at this point. Oops, I did not mean to do that. I got so lucky.
You win.
That face. That's the kind of face that's like...
USA.
It's the kind of face like he wasn't able to get in on an Xbox Series X or a PS5 pre-order. Thanks, Mario.
One, fight.
Chip damage.
You win.
Oh, no, you don't get cheese for that. I guess that didn't really come around to the Alpha series. Wow, okay. Oh yeah, his name's M. Bison. We're playing the Japanese one.
Round 3. Fight.
Shit. Okay.
You win. Spain.
Balrog. It's always weird to me seeing the Japanese names.
Round 1. Fight. You win. Round 2. Fight.
Nice. Perfect.
You win.
Patchouli wins. I just realized they don't have the bonus games in here.
Thailand.
I wonder if they took that out of Super Turbo in general. I never got very far in Super Turbo, so... Hey, hey, Vance! How are you doing tonight, sir?
Round
Good to see you as always.
Fight.
Did you check completed listings, Uber Disco? I remember checking, not too long ago, and I think they were like anywhere from 60 to 80.
You win.
Unfortunately, I don't think I can pause this, but I'm gonna check too, just because I'm curious.
Uppercut.
Don't type that much, Uber Disco. Just type 3DO arcade stick. Really?
Thailand.
Damn. Yeah, that's wild, man. Yeah, the first one that comes up is $133 after shipping from Japan. But it's from Japan. Japan's gonna rip you off on eBay North America. You really need to get your stuff from Yahoo Auctions Japan. It'll be like half as much, if that. Which is why I don't necessarily like using our eBay as like a baseline for imported stuff.
Round 2. Fight.
Alright, hold on. I can't look at this. I gotta play. It seems like some of the late game boss AI hasn't changed all that much. Well, that's a little bit different. He's bouncing back, which is interesting. Yep, I'm dead.
You lose.
So, one did sell for 90 bucks, free shipping. That was December 30th, 2020. Also from Japan.
8. 7.
Another one sold. There was a best offer. It doesn't say what the actual offer was. The original price was 111. Yeah, the original price was 111, but there was no, it doesn't say what the actual best offer was, so.
Thailand.
I was honestly hoping it would be less. I didn't realize they went up in price like that. It hasn't even been that long. I looked not too long ago. I fucking hate the retro market, man. It's awful. But yeah, I mean, I'd have to be okay with something like that. And I know if I don't buy it now, I'm sure I'll regret it in the future. It's not like I've got 3DO controller converters or anything like that. It's not like I can use a modern arcade stick on the platform. Is that the shipped price, Uber Disco, or is it 70 or 80 plus shipping?
Round 2. Fight.
No, I do want it. If you're able to do 70 bucks, I will gladly take it off your hands. I will do that. Because I want some of my 3DO games to be more enjoyable to play. Honestly, I'd love to try to play some Icebreaker with it too, now that I think about it. Yeah, the more I think about it, the more I think I could actually use it for a bunch of different games.
You win.
You know, games that, I mean, 3DO is a D-pad system. Everything uses the D-pad. It's not like it's got analog controls, so it would actually work with a lot more games than I currently give it credit. Yeah, and your shipping that you paid on it was like, you know, it was a bulk thing, so you know, it came with a bunch of other stuff too. Yeah, well, the other thing is, Iridisco, is this controller, the diagonals are not great. A lot of times they just don't register, and it's a common problem. It's even worse with the bigger controllers. Oh, did I just skip through the ending? Oh, motherfucker. Hey, thanks, Carlos. Well, we don't compare it to Colombia, Carlos, because it's like, yeah. I mean, Colombia is fucked. Period. There's like no comparison to shopping in the United States. It's a totally different world down there. So when people are like, yeah, it's way worse here, I just roll my eyes. I'm like, well, yeah, everybody knows that. That's why we don't talk about Colombia when we're talking about buying retro shit. It sucks for you guys. I'm sorry, but yeah. When we talk about prices, mainly comparing between us, Europe, and Japan. Sometimes Australia. That's pretty much it. And by us, I mean North America as a whole, so United States and Canada. Just make friends with people like us. We'll send you games. I would never want to ship to South America. Or Mexico. I would not want to do it. I feel like there's too much risk involved.
Round 1. Fight.
But Carlos has his way of accessing games. You know, just because you can't buy these games doesn't mean like you can't play them. 3DO in particular has had a good emulator around for a long time. I mean, that's just the way of life down there, right? You gotta do what you gotta do. Speaking of which, let me check to see if this capture card is still available, because I'm gonna buy it. Oh shit, I was also looking at this Megaman X3 for PS1. Papa Chubby. Hey, you. You look so good when it's lit up. I mean, it's dim light, but... Good girl, Patchouli. Well, if I bought a copy of Megaman X3 for PS1 Uber Disco, it would give me an excuse to do another YouTube stream of it. So the only ones I did were the Saturn and PC versions. Yeah. I want to get the X Station for PlayStation, but it requires me to mod the system, and I can't do that. I have to ship it out, and I don't have the money for that. I mean, if I didn't get this capture card, and I didn't buy your arcade stick, I'd probably have the money, but I need this capture card, so I need to get rid of my Elgato. I need to get it out of my chain. The Elgato's too unstable. Well, basically, I'm looking at a data path capture card with 2 HDMI ports. It'll even do 4K 30. Which my Elgato only does 1080p. So if I ever want to do 4K in the future, I'll have the option. But it's mainly to get rid of the Elgato as well as have an extra HDMI input. So I can have like a camcorder on one HDMI input and then my upscalers with another. And it does 1080-60, and that's what I need. I don't need 4K, but it's got the capability of doing 4K if I so need it. And I already have a DataPath RGB capture card, and it's fantastic. Yeah, I'll be stoked to play this again with an arcade stick afterwards. That would be sweet. Oh man, so again, well, Office, if you're still out there, I'll do Escape from Monster Manor. The rest of the games I have, unfortunately, are not all that exciting. Well, it's not true. Wolfenstein's pretty exciting. Blame the fact that my 3DO hates my CDRs. It's got an issue. I think the caps need to be replaced. It'll read my CDRs for about 20 minutes and then it just shits itself. Because it gets, the power supply unit gets ridiculously hot. It doesn't seem to have the problem with real discs, but with my CDRs, it just struggles. Even with the Taiyo Udens. And the Taiyo Udens were, that was like the magic bullet for other systems. Getting rid of, what? What are you talking about? Yeah, well, there's not much point in a high refresh capture card, Uber Disco, because no service really is going to display that. You know what I mean? I don't even know if YouTube, for instance, allows you to go above 60 FPS. That's pretty cool. I don't think I've ever actually seen the Japanese version of this in action. There's no blood like that in the American version.
Oh, また誰か迷い込んできたな。気の毒に。存分に恐れおののきたまえ。こうしている今も黒いマ
That Japanese voice is way cooler.
だがせっかく来たのだ。いくつもの時代を生き抜いた私が話を聞かせてやろう。注意して聞くがいい。何かの足しになるかもしれないからな。何世紀もの昔、不思議な儀式により巨大な金の円盤が作られた。その円盤は太陽の光を集めて輝き、何世紀にもわたり人類を魔物の手から守り続けてきた。しかし、平和は長くは続かなかった。その聖盤を独占しようとする愚かなる者たちによって打ち砕かれてしまい、それはただの金属の破片と化してしまったのだ。封じ込められていた邪悪な者たちは再び世界を永遠の闇で覆い尽くし、暗黒の世界を復活させた。
Apache? Well, she's 15 pounds.
聖盤の力を取り戻そうと立ち上がった。
It would cost a lot.
世界中に散らばっていた破片を収集し、ついに円盤を再生させるに至ったのだ。それはまさに命がけであった。彼はこの世を救えたであろうか。いいや、彼の子孫は魔物が再び忍び寄りつつあると知るや否や、この館から逃げ去ってしまった。そして再び黄金の聖盤は破壊されてしまったのだ。新たなる恐怖、増強する死の力。私さえもが危険を感じるほどだ。今やお前の生き延びる道は聖盤を元の姿に再現し、魔物の力を封じる以外に方法はない。滅びゆく世界に光を取り戻すのだ。ただしこの館から生きて出られる保証はどこにもないがな。
Cool, the menu's still in English. Hey, Leo. Oh, there were 12 levels, huh? Thought there were only 10. Okay. I guess that's it. No, I didn't. Someone asked what she weighed just the other day, and I predicted she was probably about 15 pounds. Maybe 14? I used to have a cat that was like 17 or 18 pounds, and she's definitely lighter than that. It looks like the crop is correct. Oh, by the way, my 3DO, I've got one that has the 240p switch, and so So we are playing this at 240p. Normally, what the 3DO does is it has a scaler chip in it that upscales the 240p signal and turns it into 480i, which is why 3DO games look higher resolution than they actually are, because they're being output at 480i. Now, some games with the 240p switch will run too fast. Some kind of optimization issue. And I feel like Escape from Monster Manor runs it a little bit faster than it's supposed to. Wolfenstein 3D, I'm going to have to disable the switch. Basically, force it back into 480i. Because Wolfenstein's not optimized right. It runs super fast. So your health bar in this game is basically your hand. And your ammo bar is that little red bar on the back of your blaster. That's a pretty cool game, but this is the whole game, really. I mean, this is all it is. You get no other weapons. I originally wanted to try to beat this game and then try to do a YouTube stream during October last year, but I never got around to it. But this came out in 1993, which for a console FPS is pretty impressive. Unfortunately, it's just not very deep. I mean, Wolfenstein 3D is not really considered a deep FPS by today's standards, but it still has a lot more going on. But basically, you just collect keys. You have to find like an artifact or something, and then you can exit. I don't even think you have secrets in this. Like, I don't think you have push walls and whatnot. I don't think push walls exist in this game. Now, I think you do have a map. Let's see. Yeah, press A for map. There we go. Spooky, isn't it? Yeah, you know, honestly, Uber Disco, I'd kind of like to get my 3DO RGB modded now that I think about it. The 240p will look even better. It's so expensive, though, to do all that. I shouldn't have said this isn't all that exciting. It is still a fun game. I love these classic early first-person shooters. I have a major soft spot for them. Oh, it's the same room. Your aiming is really fast in this. I think it's faster when my 240p switch is on. Yeah, and you can't really interact with any objects either. Aside from doors, that's pretty much it. These are ammo. Ammo pickups. You strafe really fast. Oh yeah, these guys take multiple hits. Oh man, Cyberdillo. Now there's a game.
おお、前にやってきた訪問者のことを話してやるのを忘れていたな。
There is a game for you. Ah. You got a long box. Escape. Sorry, Cyberdillo. That's a wacky game. I have a soft spot for that one too. Am I out of keys? Oh, actually, I think. So I guess your keys don't carry over. That's funny, they have a key right behind you. Hey, vampire. Is it October yet? Yeah, a couple of the screams definitely sound familiar. It had to have come from some generic sound sample library. Dude, I might even have the same samples on my computer. These sound effects are killing me. I do like that you strafe really fast. It means I can sidestep my way through these maps. Yeah, the atmosphere is pretty good. I will give it that. Definitely. Whoa! I did not see you. Honestly, too bad this wasn't ported to PC. I'd love playing this with keyboard and mouse. I don't think I got the artifact. Yeah. Talisman. Well, that was a waste of a key. I have 0 keys. I don't even know what the skulls do. Maybe they're just points. If you haven't been able to tell yet, it's a very maze-like game. Where am I? I'm down there. Okay. Wow, I actually missed a lot. So go out, go straight. Okay. Oops. Yeah, they give you points. Okay. Yeah, it's a decent map. It's just a shame it's not like an auto map. I'd love to be able to have the map overlaid on the screen. That would be amazing. So basically what you have to do is constantly go back to your map screen like this. Looks like you have to hug all the walls too if you want to fill it in. Uh-oh. I'm actually kind of lucky I did not die. There's a lot of enemies in this room. Man, look at that. You know, and I don't really care about the points. I want the artifact. Or the talisman. Because you have to have it to exit. I need a key. Let me go back. Unfortunately, it doesn't tell you which way you're facing. Nope. So it looks like I've gone almost everywhere. I just have to go back towards the exit. You've got growls, you've got various screams, you got doors slamming shut, and it's like all in stereo. You got rat noises. Every time I hear the rat noises, I think there's actually a rat in game. We do have some classic horror movie style chimes though, which is pretty cool. It is cool when these rooms are filled up. Makes the otherwise simplistic environments seem a little more interesting. I wonder if you can get yourself soft locked in this game if you use up too many keys in the wrong order. Yeah, look at that whole area. Jeez, this map is huge. Well, I guess your maps have to be big if you only have 12 levels total. There we go. Yeah, the
すぐさま悪霊や死霊どもがお前の前に立ちはだかることであろ
う. Yeah, the large Marge scene in yeah, Pee-wee's Big Adventure, that scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. And then, yeah, the troll scene in Ernest Scared Stupid as well. Yep. Alright, I'll do one more level and then we'll switch games. I'll have to come back to this actually very soon and try to beat the game. That way I can do my YouTube stream finally. I know it's not really...
Tread carefully now.
Oh, they left that part in English. I think that's just a part of the music. I don't know, maybe I don't know. As long as I beat the game, maybe I'll just save it for October.
Carefully. Carefully now. Carefully now. Carefully. Carefully. Tread carefully now. Carefully. Carefully.
Alright, see you, office.
Tread carefully now.
There's some fun animations in this game.
Carefully. Carefully. carefully now. Tread carefully now. Carefully.
Oops.
Tread carefully now. Carefully. Carefully. Tread carefully now. Tread carefully now. Carefully.
Wrong way.
Carefully. Tread carefully now. Carefully. Carefully.
That's pretty nice. Check that out. It's got like sort of lighting effects.
Carefully now.
I wonder if that lighting effect is actually like its own separate texture. I wish you saw more of that in this game. That's actually really good for 93.
Carefully. Carefully.
Okay.
Carefully.
It's kind of one of the fun things about playing through this game is just kind of looking at the animations.
Carefully now. Tread carefully now. Carefully. Carefully. Tread carefully now.
So Timo, I'm not sure if you ever heard, but they were supposed to port Megaman X3 to 3DO. But it never got released. Yep. Yeah, it's even in magazines back in the, like some Japanese magazines back in the day.
Tread carefully now.
It probably would have been the same thing as like the PS1 and Saturn versions and whatnot, but I would have been really interested to see how it would perform. 3DO kind of struggled with a lot of 2D games. Really required programmers to really know what the hell they were doing. Oh shit, I died. Fuck. I think it actually would have been one of the earlier ports of X3. Actually, no, I think it probably would have come out around the same time as the other versions. PS1 and Saturn, I mean.
Tread carefully now.
Alright, well that's that. I'm not going to continue, since we have to do the whole level over. But, I remember one of the old hardcore, one of the biggest 3DO collectors out there said that there was a prototype out there of it, but it never surfaced. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I mean, like, X3 and 3DO is not a huge loss, because it did come out on, obviously, Super Nintendo, PC, Saturn, PlayStation. But having a game like that on 3DO would have been just amazing in and of itself, because the 3DO does not excel at 2D platformers. Gex is pretty much the best one it's got, and even Gex is better on Saturn than PlayStation. So... loud game is loud. An epic Genesis port of X3. Some dude a couple years ago was working on an X1 port. He got the full stage 1 working, I believe, and it looks pretty amazing. This is called Iron Angel of the Apocalypse. What's going on, Adam? How you doing? You're playing some Mario 35. Right, so I haven't played this game in a long time. I remember not liking it at all. It's a very sluggish, like, adventure first-person shooter game. Nearly done getting all the levels. Man, you're slow. I had all the levels back in October. I hope he's continuing to work on that, Leo. I'd love to see a finished version of that eventually. I would stream that shit right away. I think it's just gonna loop it over and over. There is a sequel to this game that's more traditional FPS, but it runs in a tiny window and it's kind of choppy. I forgot what it was called now. Well, I mean, you could turn your PS1 on too, Carlos. You can watch. You could play and watch at the same time. It's like the intro to a 90s sci-fi movie or something. I kind of like it. Space Hulk is more, it's a strategy game, so you've really got to be in the strategy games. Oh, that's cool, Carlos. Thank you.
まれ変わった気分はどうだ。お前には鉄人になるチャンスが与えられたのだ。
Yeah, this is called Tetsujin in Japan.
必要なのは意識だ。意識だけが自らの意志を持つ存在として認識し、その意志を加速させることができる。人類は本来ならばすでに次の段階に達していなければならなかったのだ。しかし有機体という不完全なシステムがそれを妨げてしまった。今こそ意識を解放し、鉄人を創造する時だ。お前は誇りに思っていい。鉄人として永遠に生きる可能性が与えられたのだ。お前をこの目で見たい。私のところへ来い。最長会の研究室だ。途中邪魔が入るかもしれんが自分で始末しろ。ミスをすれば待っているのは死だ。もう逃れることはできない。どうかプロセスは実行された。待っているぞ。鉄人として私の前に現れることを。
Alright. You guys want to place bets on how fast this game runs? You think 5 FPS? How about 7? And Andy takers from maybe 13 frames per second? I don't know. I've got my bets on 5. What do you guys think? I'm scared to press the D-pad. Uber Disco says 10. Oh, that's the one, Leo? Was that your neighbor's cat? Oh, what a beautiful kitty. What a cutie. It's 3DO Uber Disco. It can certainly drop below 10. Pat's my 3DO. I love you, 3DO. You know, it's not your fault. It's not your fault the games were so slow. It's bad developers. It's about 5 frames per second. God damn it. This looks cool. This looks a lot cooler than I remember, though. I thought I remember this being in a much tinier screen. If we had actually bet money, guys, then I would have won. Looks like I can't even do anything at the moment. Just strafe and move. And it also seems to be very... Well, actually, no. You can kind of move against the wall. And the frame rate doesn't increase either if you're up against a wall like this. So it's not based on, like, vision. It's very stiff. I like the soundtrack though. It's pretty cool. I'm gonna turn it back up actually. Those full motion videos are really loud. Haha! That's a zinger. It's a modded mist engine. Oh man. Hey, Aaron. Yeah, so the Japanese version of this is called Tetsujin. For anyone that's interested in it, it's not too expensive. No, Goth Raving is more like and it's the same thing for the whole night. I mean, I guess you could associate that with any, like, generic dance music, but if I had the gothy bass line going, it would have made more sense. I actually used to listen to a lot of gothic industrial dance music. I still have a bunch of the albums I had from the early 2000s, but I don't listen to much of it anymore. Unfortunately, it seems like these doors closed behind me, so I can't really tell where I've been. Hey, Ronnie! Just in time, sir. I haven't played Wolfenstein 3D yet. Although you did, you missed Escape from Monster Manor. Mind Ronnie! This game runs about as bad as Super Nintendo Jurassic Park's first-person sections. Yeah, the frame rate is not great. Yeah, to be fair, you know, a lot of these 3DO games from no-name companies had a tendency of not performing very well. The system was perfectly capable of getting smooth frame rates. With simplistic environments like this, it was perfectly capable of doing it. But I mean, like, Space Hulk was a perfect example. It's a much larger, you know, screen size, and it runs a lot better. I have to look up a walkthrough of this game if it exists. Yeah, no, Space Hulk again, Uber Disco is more of a strategy game. It really is. You have to position your comrades in the right places, and it's not really so much about fast shooting as it is having a game plan. If only I could just fast forward through time, man, and do that. Jump ahead 27 years, because it'll probably take me that long to beat this game. It's kind of interesting. You immediately go to your next floor. There's no transition sequence. And oh, I do have a map now. Okay. I wonder if there's something I missed. Because it looks like everything's filled in. It's a nice map screen, actually. Oh, I have multiple floors I can go to. Okay. Well, I could fire fast, too. Okay. So, man, that sucks. So I guess you have to get a map item to fill in your map. That's my guess anyway. Okay, I think that's the same one. Actually, I want to try something. Yeah, no map data. Yeah, that's the one. That's ammo. I don't even know if it's possible to save my game. Lots of stuff I don't really need. It looks like I'm maxed out on bullets. Oh, that's cool. I can scroll through my floors. Dude, there are 31 floors? Wow, okay. Sorry, we can't save right now. System's busy. Well, the difference between this and Killing Time, Ronnie, is the frame rate's consistent. That's Killing Time's big problem, is it has its moments where it runs okay, and then it's got its moments where it runs, like, worse than this. And in Killing Time, much like Doom 3DO, your controls are totally laggy. And so while, like, I'm not gonna sit here and defend this frame rate, I mean, it's definitely more playable than Killing Time because, you know, it is a consistent frame rate. I feel like I'm missing something. I feel like there's some other mechanic I'm missing. This guy keeps respawning too. Memory card slot 5 requires you to purchase 3 more PlayStation 2s and then system link them all together. If you have not done that yet, then what is wrong with you? You are a terrible human being. The save features DLC. I'm surprised some actual company hasn't done that yet. Yeah, sorry, we rushed the game out. We'll let you save your progress eventually. Just be patient with us. Yeah, and the problem with that, Aaron, is that I'm going to assume your ammo doesn't respawn on every floor change. Oops. Oh, I'm back on floor 1. S. I wonder if S is... S is probably the start location. I want to go to that. I'm kind of curious if it's, like, actually a save location. Oh, what's that? You didn't expect us? No, never mind. I was gonna say something. Try to be funny, but it probably wasn't gonna be funny. So just stop while I'm ahead. Oh, you know what? I need to see if Shanghai uses the mouse. I forgot I have a 3DO mouse and like no games to use it with. The shield charge up thing on at the elevator did respawn. Oh, that's good to know. Okay. Good catch. I wasn't paying attention to that. I thought maybe it was something I just didn't bother to pick up on a previous floor. I think this is where I wanted to be. Oh, I think this is how you save it. Yep, that's how you do it. Sure enough. Okay. Good to know. Yeah, and it's a resupply room too. You get all your ammo and health back. It's pretty nice. Oh, Windows. Yeah, do your, there's a whole registry process over Disco that you can go through to get it to where it won't auto-update for you permanently. Yeah, it sounds like there are multiple updates. A lot of times if you know, it'll push multiple updates, and some of them require their own unique system restarts. And then once you reboot and, you know, finishes the process, and then it starts working on the other ones. It's kind of annoying. This is our starting room. Okay, well that's enough of that for now. That's, interesting. I do want to come back to this, because it's cooler than I remember. And you know what? Like, I thought I remembered the window size being even smaller and, like, just in a corner, but I'm obviously misremembering. This is Ronnie's favorite game. Whoa, there's Patchouli. Oh shit, I have to actually power cycle. Sorry guys, I have to turn off my 240p switch. My bad, I totally forgot. The game will run at like lightning speed if I leave it on. Yeah, I don't have return fire. Return fire is alright. I feel like it's better played on PlayStation. It's much more consistent frame rate. But it is a fun game on 3DO. Patchouli's meowing. Meowy Patchouli. God, I need a 3DO ODE. So what's cool about this version of Wolfenstein 3D is that it's got its own unique 30 map campaign. But it's also got all 6 original PC episodes. Full-size maps and everything. Just want to make sure the crop is still right. Yep, it's still right. So what I've never done in this version is actually play through the PC-style episodes. I mean, it's still 3DO gameplay, still 3DO graphics, but it's the same classic maps. Knife is worthless in this game. And he goes, oh! It is not. It's just, the Framemeister has really good deinterlacing. Oops. Shit. I did not want to do that. Ah, fuck. What did I do? Oh, that's what I did. Yeah, so it's technically running in 480i right now. It's just the Framemeister's deinterlacing makes it look like it's 240p. Yeah, I'm not liking how that looks. Picture mode was better. Which is interesting, because you're supposed to use natural for 480i sources. Man, those guys take a lot of hits in this version. The sound effects are so satisfying. Alright!
Yeah!
Hey, Market. I should probably turn that down just a little bit. Killing the Nazis! No. You're not supposed to be on this level. What the fuck? It's supposed to be SS. This is the 3DO version of Wolfenstein 3D. It's based on the Macintosh port. And the texture variety on this secret level is not good in this version. Uh-oh. Yeah, so, okay, so to be fair, this game was designed with its kind of original 30-map campaign in mind, but this specific version also gives you the 60-plus levels of the computer versions, and these, I'm playing the PC version style levels, and it doesn't seem like they were really tailored, like custom tailored to this version at all, with its more limited texture variety. I've always, whenever I play this version of the game, I always play the 30-map version, which has all these toned down levels that make the maps more console friendly. But I've never actually gone through the PC versions of the maps on this version, so I kind of want to do that. That's what we're doing right now. How far along are you? I guess in the development of your Megawad. That's a pretty big task. I mean, that's a lot of maps. Oh, nice, Leo. You like the fluff balls. Nice, man. That's cool. Thanks, Leo. Okay. Nice. Sounds like you're pretty far along. Interesting. Sounds like an interesting concept. Let's get the fuck out of here! That's not what I meant by that! Ronnie, are you still out there? Oh, there we go. I figured it out. Please don't add 1,500 lost souls. No, the movement's good. I was trying to figure out how to bring up the auto map. Holy shit, that is really slow. I'm just trying to remember where I'm supposed to go. How do you do what? Uber Disco? Make Doom maps? If that was your question, there's multiple ways. I think Doom Builder is probably the most popular way of doing it. If you're talking auto map, at this, it's A, B, and C together. So I have to get back to that red area. How the hell did I figure that out? I experimented with different button combinations. Alright, well, if I'm right in front of this door, I'm just gonna keep going. This is kind of an infamous map in the PC version anyway. It's the secret map for episode 1, but it's so big. It's one of the worst maps in Wolf 3D. I don't mind it as much in the PC version because you move faster and there's more texture variety. But it's still kind of a chore to play through. Yeah, it's... I guess you haven't heard of it. It's a console called the 3DO. It came out in 1993. And that's what we're playing, the 3DO port of Wolfenstein 3D. I think I might have actually... Yeah, I went backwards. God damn it. Well, you apparently do it really well, Timu, with your Megaman X runtimes. I wish I could do that. Mash some buttons and almost have a world record. It'd be crazy. Haven't heard of 3DO. Well, now you have. Yeah, it's one of the first 32-bit consoles to, you know, do 3D polygons. Oh shit, I'm probably dead. I'm fucking dead. Okay, you know what? Fuck you, Wolfenstein 3DO. I spent 20 minutes on that goddamn level. That was my fault, though. That's why you don't run into a room in Wolfenstein 3D. God damn it. Yeah, the problem is, the only other games I have that I haven't really played yet tonight are 2 puzzle action games and then 1 other first-person shooter that's cryptic as fuck. So... we played a lot of other first-person shooters tonight. I guess I'll play the one that's cryptic as fuck. And then I'll probably end the stream on those, like, chill puzzle-style games. I wish I had more 3DO games, but unfortunately I don't. Yeah, no, I know how to play Wolfenstein. Mark it. It's one of my favorite games ever. But I was playing dumb. I saw one SS and I was like, yeah, it's fine. And of course I rush in and there's like 7 of them. I think it was actually just 4 or 5, but still, I mean, more than one. Oh, step in and out and say, yeah, that's what you should do. I mean, that's kind of rule of thumb in Wolfenstein 3D. And my game's taking a while to load. Well, there's Ronnie. Never played Wolfenstein? It's a classic, man. You should try to... I don't know. It's first-person shooter history. I recommend playing the PC version with the EC Wolf source port. Play it at a modern, high-resolution. At least play it a little bit. Get some appreciation for the olden days of FPS. Pre-Doom. Yeah, this is not loading, which is odd. I know I've used this disc before on this system. It should work fine. You prefer Arkanoid or Cat? Well, I mean, Doom's old school. Doom is only 2 years newer than Wolfenstein. So you're already old school right there. But Castlevania is good. I approve that. I approve of that. Oh. For the babies out there is what's happening right now. For us old farts, it's been happening for most of our lives. Yeah, maybe. You might be. $48? Okay. Congrats. It's still retro, though. Or old school, I should say. Yeah, it probably does suck. I mean, I'm almost 40 myself, and I'm not, you know, I don't like it. I don't like the idea of it. For some reason, my mercenary disc is not functioning. I mean, it is scratched up, but it's worked before, so I'm not really sure what's going on. I'll try it one more time. $48 and making Doom maps. I see, that's pretty cool, though. Most people making Doom maps are, well, younger than 48, I would say. Hey, just wiping it down fixed it. Which it shouldn't have, because the disc was well, like I said, I had some scratches on it, but there weren't any smudge marks or anything, so and there's no dust on it.
Wake up. Wake up.
For your own sake, children's sake, and the sake of every generation to come, listen to me and behold your future.
Don't do drugs, kids. Go to school or you end up being a stripper like me or a dominatrix.
Your children's children will become enslaved.
If I was a more intelligent person, I'd keep going with that and it would probably be really funny, but I'm not.
I know what must be done, but I am powerless to act on my own. We must have a
Share.
warrior in your time. Someone outside this world we call perfect. Here is the information you need. Analyze this data, and you will see that everything I say is true. You must send us a warrior to destroy.
Yeah, this game was 93 or 94.
Analyze the data. Everything is in the data.
The system was pretty advanced for when it came out. PlayStation wouldn't come out for another 2 years in North America.
Dr. Collier! What happened?
Are you finally back in Uber Disco? Oh, 1995? What? Thought I had a save file on this, but apparently not. This game is like, you really need the manual for this game, and I don't have it. Let me check the store, see how much a copy of this is.
Dr. Collier!
It's $28 for a box copy.
We're losing sync. We've got to pull him out.
No, it was not Cher. Definitely not Cher. Wow, Captain Quasar is $175 now.
Are you ready, number 5?
No, but I'm ready to go number 2. I'm sure a lot of people have made that quip.
This is all we got from 4.
Right, DVD wasn't until the late 90s. And PS2 was the first console to use DVDs, and that was 2000. It does not predate CD tech, it is CD tech, Carlos.
We haven't determined what happened yet. But be
I'm sure you
careful
meant to
with
say
this.
DVD.
This is where we lost contact with number 4.
If it's not CD, then what the fuck is it?
I think they're ready whenever you are.
Okay, I figured that's what you meant. I was just being a smartass.
Waveform status.
Approaching synchronization now.
You'd probably be right, Market. That's typically how it was back in the day with full motion video games.
Forward.
Or games with full motion video.
Jump in 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, 3DO shit's going up across the board. I have to just buy an ODE. Need for Speed Complete is now $40. Like 2 or 3 years ago, it was $20. Lost Eden is over $100 now. Right, I mean, as far as game consoles are concerned, Ronnie, it's 2000. Alright. Okay. There's actually a lot to this game, but I just don't know it. I really have to look at the manual or go to some forum thread where people are talking about it.
Number 5. Number 5. Can you hear me? Number 5? I need vitals. Now.
Pulse 120.
Dude, Uber Disco, $50 seems high for any retro game.
Side patterns are stabilizing.
Because they shouldn't be that high, but
Okay. You're okay.
there's just
Andy.
demand. Captain Quasar was a late release 3DO game though, so there's probably not as many of them out there. And it's a solid game, unlike a lot of other games from that
Okay.
platform.
Stats. Let us know
Alright,
when
see
you're
ya,
ready to go
Market.
back
Take
in.
it easy. Catch you later. Yeah, I gotta get my hard drive mod or USB mod for this system because all this shit's way too expensive. Actually, what I was gonna do first was get my system recapped and then see if that fixes the CDR issue. And if that does, I'll just do CDRs. It'll save me some money. There's a lot of stuff I want to play. Like, I'd really love to sync real time into Star Control 2. Yeah, and I'd love to sink more time into Captain Quasar because it's actually a decent game. Oh, look at this vampire killer guy. Thanks, man. Cool, Ronnie. Nice. Yeah, so you're in a virtual world where you can actually die in the real world. That's kind of part of the concept. But I think the idea is to kind of try to take over the whole world. And you level up as you go, and if you run into characters in the world that are leveled much higher than you, they're probably gonna wreck you. It's a really interesting concept, actually. I mean, just look at all this information. Like, what the... Ah, man. Yeah, I mean, it's another game I've always wanted to try to play through, but it's a lot to take in. Wow, they don't have credits for the actual development team. Oh, no, they do. It's right here. Yeah, your rank is your level. Let's go back in. Yeah, it tells you the rank of the characters that you're fighting. These guys are all just like generic grunts. They're all higher level, or sorry, lower rank than me. I think that actually... Wow, yeah, there was a guy that was level 120. Or rank 120, which is half of what I am, so he just he just wrecked me. Yeah, so Uber Disco, that Captain Quasar is $50. It has no back cover, and it has no long box. That's why it's only $50. And $50 in that condition is, yeah. I'm talking complete, like it's long box, rear case, and everything. I'm not going to pay $50 for a 3DO game. If I buy any real 3DO games, they're all going to be cheap games. You know, $10, $15. And then I theoretically buy them at the store and get some, you know, get an employee discount. Yeah, so you have defense, you have offense, and you have agility at the top. And when you start, they're next to nothing. And agility obviously determines how fast you can walk. I think these blue ones are important. I just lowered my rank. There's so many guys. Jesus, man, it's really hard to start in this game. Everything you've got, all your stats are so low.
You see? Number 4's energy level spiked right when he ran through that static field.
I don't think there's a game over state, though. I think you can just try as many times as you want. I'm gonna save this manual too. So I can actually change my controls, sort of. I can equip these and then use them. And that raises my offense like crazy. But it's temporary. And my agility is dead again. God damn it, man. Yeah, Battlesport's good, but it is very simple 3D. We're talking super tiny environments. But no, it can do some decent 3D. I pointed to Blade Force. Blade Force I think is a lot more impressive than Battlesport. But Battlesport at least rocks a really nice frame rate. Like I think it's at least 30. It might even be 60 FPS. Which is, I mean, just rare for that generation in general. Yeah, I mean, a big problem with 3DO is that it didn't have a lot of big budget third-party developments going on. There's a lot of, like, developers that were kind of new. You know, their stuff would be rushed or lazy, and, you know, it was a big problem. Like, imagine if id Software themselves actually did Wolfenstein 3D or Doom. I would have loved to have seen that. Confuses opponents for 10 seconds. Uses 3 A units per slot. Multi-use item. Okay. It's called Stunya. Jesus, man. Yeah, personally, Blade Force. Blade Force definitely.
That's the same thing that happened.
Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, Death Keep. That one also runs pretty well, looks pretty good. I think it's actually full screen and it's first person. Starfighter, yep. Starfighter gets really slow, but it still has some nice colors and some cool graphic effects. Need for Speed, obviously, is another good one. Dude, look at all these guys, man. I can't do anything. And it's like, I can't actually use these items if my offense is completely out. That's kind of BS. Like, this item is supposed to give me a big, agility boost, apparently. Dude, this game starts so rough. It's... You barely can't do... Like, you can barely do anything when you start. It's a really cool concept, but yeah, you can barely do anything when you start. Alright, I need to really dedicate time to this game when I have more time, so we're gonna switch games. Yeah, we're gonna rock a little bit of Icebreaker, and then I'll play a little bit of Shanghai Triple Threat, and then I'm gonna get out of here because that's basically all I have on 3DO, unfortunately. Yeah, apparently Shanghai and Triple Threat supports the mouse. I'm gonna have to bust out my mouse. Hold on. I've had this thing for a long time, but I've never used it. It's another reason I want to get my CDRs working. That way I can try games like Lemmings. 3DO's got a really good version of Lemmings. This is Japanese Uber Disco. This is not American. My mouse, I mean, is Japanese. Yeah. Otherwise, it wouldn't have Japanese text all over it. I wonder what mice go for these days. You know, I don't collect, so to say, but I do like to keep somewhat up to date with the hardware and stuff like that, just in case I ever decide to try to get rid of my stuff. The stick design is the same type of design as this Uber Disco. And America had this design with the FZ10, but the Japanese also had this design with their FZ1 and their FZ10. Except their FZ10s, unlike ours, which was red and blue and green, theirs is like orange and magenta and red, or something like that. Wow, you don't have many inbox retro consoles? I figured you would have had a lot. Well, I mean, you buy so much, I figured you were into the collecting aspect of it. Manuals and cases, right on. I'm trying to see what levels I have cleared. I hate how the option system works in this game, or the menu system works in this game, I should say. See, that's really weird. I know I had more levels cleared. I mean, unless I was playing on Insane, but I highly doubt that. Because it is actually true to its name. Yeah, I mean, I much prefer having all my stuff boxed and complete, you know, games and systems and whatever, but for games these days, just prices are getting so high that if I do have to actually buy something to play, then I'm not as much of a stickler of getting them complete. This is really weird. I thought I had played way more of this. I should have a more complete save file. Yeah, I do really like having box consoles though. There's just something about them. Plus, if I'm not actually using a console and I don't have room for it to display it, I just put the console back in the box. So it has a functional purpose too. Otherwise, I'm super disorganized. It's in some bin somewhere, probably getting scratched up when I try to rummage around, and you know, all the cables are with the packaging. I am also finding, as time goes on, the real hardware that's the stuff that's becoming much less common, because so many people have thrown out their packaging over the years, you know, for consoles. I mean, I was looking at complete in-box Master Systems recently, and they're like 300 and up now. They used to be 100 and under all day long. It's pretty crazy, man. And I'd love to have another complete in-box Master System eventually. You know, there's a few platforms like that I want complete, and prices are skyrocketing. And I don't think it's gonna get... Oh, fuck. You can't touch the red pyramids, they kill you. Yeah, I think it's just gonna get worse. You know, this stuff is just gonna get more and more uncommon. Yeah, I hear that, Ronnie. I would do the same thing, but I know if I sold my stuff, I would regret it, because I've done it before. Multiple times, and, you know, I've always gotten back into it, and just ended up paying more in the process. Yeah, Uber Disco. I sold... My first big sell-off was 2006. And then I got big, and then I didn't sell everything, but I still had like a dozen consoles. But over the next couple of years after 2006, I had to sell everything just to make ends meet, because I had moved out on my own during 2006. And then I started rebuying it all back, you know, in 2009. And a lot of the consoles I still have right now, like my Saturn and my Genesis and Sega CD. You know, platforms like that are the same ones from back then when I was just getting back into it. My original Xbox. Then over the years, I got my Neo Geo CD, my Super Nintendo, Dreamcast, N64, stuff like that. This 3DO I got probably 2014 or 2015. I had an FZ10 back... Actually, I got an FZ10 in 2009. Got a Jag in 2009, yeah. Yeah, I did have to say goodbye to my pinball machines, unfortunately. I still have one of my own, but it's super cheap. And I have 3 other machines here on top of that, but they're not mine. I keep pressing the wrong buttons. Well, hardware has changed a lot over Disco, unfortunately. I mean, hardware's gotten a lot more expensive. I mean, Super Nintendos were like 50 bucks all day like 8 years ago. Now they're like 100. It's like, man. Yeah, that annoys the hell out of me, Temu, is how modern consoles haven't dropped in price much, even on the used market. I remember at this point in time, in a previous generation, the consoles would be next to nothing. Especially consoles like... I remember, like, you couldn't give away PS2s when the 360 and PS3 hit. You know, you can get those fuckers for 20 bucks all day long. But for some reason, these last two generations, it's been different. Even Xbox 360s and PS3s, like, they're cheap-ish, but you're still gonna have to pay like 50 or 60 bucks for one. There's no more $20 for a console anymore. For any of you guys that have no idea what's going on, the goal is to get rid of all the pyramids on each level. So red pyramids you have to shoot, blue pyramids you have to run into. Green pyramids have to be killed by enemies, so enemies have to run into them. And then there are other pyramid types as you progress through the game. And you go to higher level maps. You cannot touch red ones, otherwise you will die. It's a pretty chill game. I've always enjoyed this one quite a bit. It's one of my go-to titles on 3DO, just to chill out. Can't fall down the pits, otherwise you'll die. And then as you progress through the game, more hazards appear. You have lava, you've got green slime, you've got rainbow pyramids, you've got rocks, rock pyramids that take a shit ton of hits to take down. You got weird psychedelic tiles. It's cool. Yes, we got it. Yeah, quite likely, Carlos. Temu is in Finland. He is not in the US. What do they call you? Finnish? Or just Finn? He's a Finn. Those Finns and their deep, burly voices. Oh, you fucker. God damn it. That bastard. Alright, I'm getting tired, so I'm gonna fire up Shanghai real quick. And then I'm gonna get out of here. Get some munchies. I've gotta be up around 11:30-ish tomorrow. I wonder if I reset the level grid by accident, if that's what happened. I used to have the level grid more, like, completed. Not fully completed, but, like, I had a lot more maps completed. Alright, yeah, I mean, it should save your progress automatically, too, so... Oh, and actually I went to power cycle. I mean, at least we made some progress on Escape from Monster Manor. Dabbled with Mercenary a little bit, which is... Well, not a Mercenary. Well, yeah, we did do that, but... Iron Angel of the Apocalypse, which was cool. We actually beat Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Which I think that was the first time I actually did that on 3DO. I will definitely be trying again. Uber Disco is going to sell me a sweet arcade stick. I powered off the console because 3DO's controller ports, I think, are powered, so you don't want to be hot swapping controllers on 3DO. At least, yeah. Yeah, so we got our mouse. Yeah, and that's pretty much how I would like to be, Timo, is just 100% backups, you know? The problem is, I have such a large hardware collection that, like, a lot of my CD-based consoles, I still have to have real games because I don't have optical drive emulators yet. Like the 3DO, for instance, right? And I would do CDRs where available, but my 3DO, for instance, hates them. Absolutely hates them. So I think that's more of a capacitor issue. I think it needs to have a cap kit done on it. But that costs money! I can't do it myself. I have to send it out to someone. Yeah, it's recognized my mouse right away. My Mister's great, Carlos. It's right next to me. I was using it last, well, not last night, but a couple days ago. I've always liked the Shanghai games. They're actually good, chill games. I'm gonna turn this light off too. Speaking of chill. It seems so goofy, but it's fun. Oh, and you know what? Shit. I'm sorry, guys. I meant to flip the 240p switch back. Yeah, so we played Icebreaker at 480i instead of 240p. Oops. Yeah, I need to go back and watch a few of Pandemonium's reviews. I watched Virtua Racing 2 weeks ago. That was really good. The thing is, his stuff has gotten longer and longer and longer and longer, and it's like, I want to watch it, but when it's an hour long, I'm less likely to click on it. But I've been busy at work lately, so it's been easier to watch hour-long videos. Have them all in the background. Ah, much better. I have to check my config again. I don't know if it actually saved it. Okay, it did. It's always weird controlling menus with a mouse like this. Oh yeah, I've been watching him. I was like one of his earliest subscribers. I've been watching him since like 2012, I think. He had just like a couple dozen subscribers back then. He stopped doing YouTube for such a long time. I didn't think he'd ever come back, and I was really surprised when he started the Pandemonium reviews things. That's not what he called himself back then. And, the Pandemonium stuff's gotten better and better and better. He's gonna, I could foresee him eventually being one of those, like, 100,000 plus sub channels. Easy. He's put a lot of effort into his covering every Saturn game thing. So if you never play this, I don't even know what you call this kind of Mahjong, but it's pretty simple. Basically, you've got multiple tiers, and it's just a match 2 of the same type. That's the goal. But there are some rules. You can't pick pieces from within. It can only be on the far left or right hand sides. You can match different tiers though, so if, I don't know, let's see. I don't know, I'm trying to... Like, I can pick both of those, and they disappear. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple, but it's, also chill. Actually, the first time I ever played one of these was on the Sega Master System, the very first Shanghai. They usually have, the Shanghai series in particular, usually has catchy music, and it's just, they're just fun, Now you can get into soft lock scenarios and you basically have to restart the game. That's just normal. I like it when they animate. Yeah, Shanghai, this is Shanghai 3 Triple Threat. Which is technically an arcade game. Sega STV, I believe. Probably isn't the kind of game you guys are used to me playing. But I've actually played, yeah, I played them on and off over the years. Triple Threat. Yeah, it's just match 2 Uber Disco. Yep, yep. Check it out. Oh, this actually uses all 3 buttons. Nice. Get rid of that. Open up my play field. Man. Yeah, some of these are kind of weird, like they're seasons, and you can match seasons, but because the text is in a different language, it's weird. It's not obvious. It was a lot more obvious in the Master System game, I think. Like a might field? No. Wow, the game screwed me? There are no more moves, apparently. There's nothing else I can match. I got soft locked that fast, huh? Yeah, I mean, I'm not seeing any other matches, so it must be right. Music notes. I do prefer Mahjong. I like the Mahjong tiles. Try again. I don't think it's the same puzzle. I mean, it looks similar, actually. It might even be the same one. No, it's a variation. It's not the same thing. Menacing Mahjong. This icon right here. Oh, it's right up there. Okay. That's actually pretty critical. But... oh, no. There we go. That opens things up. Man, I'm not sure. See, that one's pretty deep. Yeah, we'll roll with it. Why not? Oh god. Lots of innuendos there. It's pretty deep. In triple threat. There we go. This makes me feel so relaxed. Plays great with the mouse too. It's got you know, sensitivity is pretty good. It's nice and smooth. Better than the Super Nintendo mouse. Oh, that would be hilarious. Especially now that the maps are like 5 hours long. So I should mention, there are only 4 pieces of the same kind. So when you complete 2 pairs of a specific type of tile, then you know they're gone from the playfield. There's not going to be any more of them. So that plays into your strategy of what tiles do you pick. So these red ones, I know there's no more of them, so I can go ahead and clear them out. And not worry that, like, there's another one buried below higher tiles. Oh, you fucking game! You piece of shit! This is bullshit! This piece right here is hidden under this block. What a cock tease, man. I was like, oh shit, we got this one. We got it. I gotta do one more. Shanghai is addictive. What a tease. Let me try arcade mode. Same rules as classic Shanghai, except upper tiles fall when lower tiles are removed. Face down tiles are immobile. Similar tiles that can match too? I'm not sure what you're talking about. The answer is no. You have regular tiles, and then you have these tiles that are based on seasons, apparently. And you have to match the right season. The right season tiles, yeah. Hey, Francis, this is Shanghai Triple Threat for 3DO. Oops, I picked up my PC mouse. I'm supposed to be using my 3DO's mouse. Yeah, we have a timer on this one too, so it's like those are 2 seasons apparently. Okay, it's not what I want. Oh yeah, that's interesting. They fall. Okay, I mean it just told me that, but I wasn't sure how it was gonna actually happen. Yeah, see, these will fall. Yeah. It's a super chill game. With this music. 3DO is 1993. Yeah. Try the Saturn version of this again. I bet it runs a little bit smoother. I mean, this is still pretty good. Or maybe it's exactly the same. I don't know. Okay. It is logic slash puzzle, yeah. Killing Time is a 3DO game originally, and then it also got a PC version, which is very different. So how you play the game is you have tiles, and it's basically just match 2 of the same kind. That's basically it. Until you don't have any other moves remaining. And, so like I can match these two. This specific mode, tiles are stacked vertically, and so the ones above will fall down, which is kind of interesting. Like these are gonna fall just like that. So that ends up, you know, that could screw you over if you're not paying attention. I will say that hitting the middle mouse button feels a little weird. I'm not used to hitting a middle mouse button. That's not a scroll wheel. It's an actual, like, fat button. It's kind of awkward. It takes some time to get used to. Oh, I can't do that anymore. So the tiles you can select, they can only be on the outer edges vertically. Oh, Activision. Back when you were still good. Password E44. Such a complex password. Wow, that's a lot of levels. I should actually try to beat this game. Not right now, but some other time. Yeah, so you can only... So it's match 2 of the same kind, and you can only work from the far left or right hand sides of each stack. So I cannot select anything in the middle. I did play Killing Time, yeah. About as much as I could stomach. Well, it probably would have been a little more popular if it was ported to PlayStation, and apparently there was a version out there that was being worked on, and apparently it ran way better, but it got canceled. So no one really knew about it, because it was stuck on 3DO, and it got a kind of a limited PC release. I don't think it sold too well, because they're not very common. It's an interesting game. Think of it kind of like as a Metroid-style game where, you know, the whole game is just one big map, and you can go back and forth between areas and whatnot. But it's a first-person shooter with the spooky theme. All that's really cool, but the problem is the game runs at like 5 frames a second, if you're lucky, and the controls are super sluggish. It's almost unplayable, if you ask me. It's sad because it is a really cool concept. I like the theme and I like the what it's trying to go for, but it's, like I said, I think it's on 3DO it's almost unplayable. I've tried and tried and tried again. I've never been able to get into it. PC version I want to try to put effort into, or put effort into it, but it also has some of its own issues. It runs great, but the controls are really, really weird on it. So I need to go back, try to install it, and give it another shot. A PC version is very different. It's much more complex, visually speaking, so the environments are much more involved. 3DO version has very, very simplistic environments. Alright, see you, Carlos. I'm gonna actually save this password. I think I'm gonna start making. I'm gonna make like a passwords folder in my YouTube folder. I have multiple games now where I have passwords. That way, if I play this again, I can, you know, come back and, yeah, try to get a little bit farther. But, that's gonna do it for me, guys. I need to get to sleep. I gotta get some food in my stomach first, and then chill out for a little bit. I'm gonna be up at, around 11:20, 11:30, because I'm gonna be premiering my next Let's Play walkthrough for Megaman MS-DOS. So, yeah, I'm gonna, yeah, I do have a Discord, Francis, but it's only for backers, Patreon backers, or YouTube channel members, or Twitch subs. Yeah, no public Discord, unfortunately. I used to have one, but it was too much to handle, too much to manage. But yeah, so I'll be on that premiere tomorrow morning. No, you don't have to apologize. Thanks for trying. A lot of people wouldn't even bother. They don't think that far ahead. So Aquas is playing yeah, some PC Engine Duo games, I guess on the Mister. I've never heard of this one. Galaxy Deca Gavan. Alright, well, I'll see you guys later. Take it easy.